Mr. President, new inflation numbers are out this week, and they show inflation is again up under Biden. And the new polling shows 61% of small businesses believe Bidenomics is bad for the economy. When you return to the White House, what is the first thing you'll do to turn around Biden's economic nightmare?
Well, first of all, I think he's been a disaster as a president. He's the worst president in the history of our country. The happiest person around right now is Jimmy Carter. I've been saying this because he looks like a brilliant president by comparison, like literally brilliant by comparison to this guy. There's never been anybody like him. Now we have another war going on in the Middle East, just started up, and we have our Secretary of Defense is sitting in a hospital room looking at his laptop. That's how he's running the war, like a child would look at a laptop. It's disgraceful what's going on. It's a disgrace, and Bidenomics is the least of it, but it's been a disaster for the country. Inflation's now going up again, but really look at the inflation that's taken place over the last 3 years. I was looking today, energy's up at 38%, and food's up 32%. Everything's up. It's not going to come down. They're not going to get it down. Even if they got it even right now, it doesn't matter. The damage is all done. No matter what you make, no matter how much your salary went up, it's peanuts compared to when you look at all these things. They were talking about housing prices. They were talking about rental. If you rent an apartment anywhere in the country, you're up 40%, and that you can't make up for that. He's been a disaster as a president, and we're spending money hand over fist on Ukraine as an example, and yet Europe, you add it up, it's a similar size economy as ours. Europe is not spending anything by comparison. We're in for $200 billion, or they're in for $22 billion, and yet it certainly affects them more than it affects us. We have a thing called an ocean in between. They don't have that ocean. But they're not, and nobody's telling them to do it. I told them to spend for NATO. I said, you have to spend money. And they said, well, I don't really know. Would you protect us? I said, no, if you don't spend, we're not going to protect you. And all of a sudden, billions and hundreds of billions came pouring into NATO because I said that. You have to ask them for the money. They'll pay it if you ask them. I don't think anybody is asking them. But you look at the difference between what we're spending on Ukraine, as an example, and what they're spending. And the only difference is nobody's asking, or they don't know how to ask. But you really probably have to tell them, this is what you're going to do, and they'll do it. So it's a very unfair thing. Very bad things are happening for our country. I don't think we've ever been in danger of World War III like we are right now. And I always say, and I say it in every speech, I will prevent World War III. I know all these people. I know good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't make any difference. I know every one of them, and they're not going to mess around with us. We are weak. We are ineffective. We're laughed at as a country, and Bidenomics is a total disaster, to get back to your original question.
Well,